Fast learning isn't about intelligence. It's about method. Japanese students consistently outperform globally using three specific techniques embedded in their school system. These methods compress learning time so drastically that what takes you months takes them weeks. By the end, you'll know exactly how to apply them, starting with the reflection method that fixes your memory. Secret 1. Hansei. You finish studying, close the book, move on. Next day, you remember almost nothing. That sound familiar? You're not stupid. Your review method is broken. Here's what you're doing. You reread your notes, highlight things, flip through pages. You think that's review. It's not. It's motion without retention. Your brain isn't storing anything because you're not making it work. Japanese students use something called Hansei. It's a documented practice in their education system. After every study session, they don't review what they learned. They reflect on how they learned it. Here's the difference. You're asking, what did I study? They're asking, where did my thinking break down? What confused me? What would I do differently? This isn't passive. It's active interrogation of your own learning process. Why does this work? Your brain doesn't store information like a hard drive. It stores the process of retrieving information. Every time you actively reconstruct what you learned, you're strengthening those retrieval pathways. Hansei forces you to do this immediately while the pathways are still fresh. Here's your application. After your next study session, don't review your notes. Write down 3 things. What did I just learn? Where did I struggle? What would I change about my approach? 5 minutes of this beats an hour of passive review. That's not theory. That's how memory actually works. But here's the problem. Retention means nothing if you're encoding information wrong from the start. That's where the second method changes everything. Secret 2. Jugyo Kenkyu. You consume information like it's Netflix. Read something once. Watch a video. Think you learned it. You didn't. You just recognized it. There's a massive difference. Here's what actually happened. Information passed through your brain. You understood it in that moment. Then it left. No encoding, no retention. You're confusing understanding with learning. Japanese education figured this out decades ago. They use a method called Jugyo Kenkyu. It's a system where students learn through explaining their thinking process to others and defending their methods. Their approach is simple. Try, understand, apply, master. But here's the key part. You can't move to the next stage until you can articulate your understanding out loud. Not in your head, out loud. Why does this matter? Because your brain encodes through articulation, not consumption. When you force yourself to explain something, your brain has to organize the information, find the right words, and create a coherent structure. That process is what creates the neural pathways. Watching a video creates recognition. Explaining it creates knowledge. Here's your application. Take any concept you're learning right now. Close the source material. Explain it out loud like you're teaching someone who knows nothing about it. Use your own words. If you stumble, you don't know it yet. Then take that concept and apply it to a different problem. Not the same example you just saw, a new one. This forces your brain to actually understand the principle, not just memorize the example. Most people skip this. They think if they understood it while reading, they learned it. They didn't. These 2 methods create speed. Hansei creates retention. Jugyo Kenkyu creates real encoding. But there's a third method that determines whether you reach actual mastery or plateau forever at average. This one separates top students from everyone else. Secret 3. Mondei Kaketsu. You learn theory, then try to apply it. That's backwards. That's why nothing sticks. Here's your current process. Teacher explains the concept, you take notes, you understand it. Then you try practice problems. Seems logical, right? It's not. Your brain has no reason to care about that theory yet. Japanese students do the exact opposite. They use a method called Mondai Kaiketsu. Problem solving first, theory after. Here's how it actually works in Japanese math classes. Students get a challenging problem before any instruction. They attempt it using only what they already know. They struggle. They fail. They try different approaches. Then, and only then, does the teacher introduce the theory. Why is this sequence so powerful? Because your brain craves solutions after genuine struggle. When you battle with a problem for 10 minutes and can't solve it, you've created a mental hook. Your brain is now desperate for the answer. When the theory arrives, it doesn't feel like random information. It feels like relief. Theory without context evaporates. Theory after struggle becomes permanent. Think about it. You remember solutions to problems you struggled with way more than random facts you memorized. That's not coincidence. That's how learning actually works. Here's your application. Next time you're learning something new, flip the sequence. Find a problem that requires that skill first. Don't look up the solution. Attempt it with what you already know. Fail at it. Genuinely struggle for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Then learn the theory. Then go back and solve that problem. The struggle created the hook. The theory fills the gap you now feel. Most people avoid struggle. They want the easy path. Theory first, then application. That's why they plateau. Japanese students embrace the struggle because they understand it's not wasted time. It's the foundation that makes everything else stick. This is how Japanese education creates speed, not by studying more, by structuring learning correctly. Hansei turns passive review into active retention. Jugyo Kinkyu turns consuming into real encoding. Mondai Kaiketsu turns theory into permanent understanding. That's where real learning starts. And if you want to make these methods even more effective, watch this video on building a morning routine that sets you up for peak learning. Your mind is sharpest in the morning. Don't waste it.